All right, got some more parts in. Got the new seals came in and the new bushings came in. So let's see how those work out. Well, the ID on that seal certainly seems correct. That's a good fit. I still have this in the press from when I pressed out the bushing. And yeah, that looks like the OD on that seal. So I got the right size seal. That's good. Here's the new bushing. And the outside material looks like it's steel, and the inner material looks like it's a softer type metal, like maybe brass or bronze. It's got the twin oil grooves in it, and it's got the slot in it just like the original one. So that all looks good. Let's see how it fits. Wow. What a difference. See if I get the old one laying around here. Alright, so here's the original bushing. And if I put that on, I can actually, I don't know how well you can see that, but you can actually see and hear it rocking. When I put the new one on, there's no free play at all, but it does spin okay. So that's going to be a big improvement. Alright, I think what I'll do is I'll press it in. And the service manual actually mentions that you press this in until this edge is at right where that bottom edge of that bevel is right there. So it kind of gives you a guide. So I'm going to use my handy dandy arbor, custom made for this job by my friendly neighbor. Okay, so now I'm I kept that as level as possible, as plumb as possible, and it's going in pretty easily, so I know it's not binding, which is good. Alright, I'm pretty close now, so now I'm going to just ease up on it a little bit so I can check and see how close I am to where I want to be. I'm going to take it up a little more than that. Let's see. Alright, I got a little ways to go yet. Okay. Alright, now I've got a light over here so I can see better, and you can see that that's still a little too high, but I'm getting very close. Okay, that's pretty much where I want to be right there. You can see the bottom edge of the bevel is right there where my fingernail is. So that's pretty good. Alright, now before I put the seal in, I'm going to reinsert the shaft and check for the end play again. Because you may recall from an earlier video when I had it in there with the old bushing, how I could wiggle it back and forth a lot. I've got a light film of clean engine oil on the journal here on the shaft to aid in installation, because now that I've got the bushing pressed into the housing, the ID actually probably changed a slight amount. So okay, so I'm just wiggling that through. If anything, it might be a little too tight, and it actually, I got to get past that spot. Yeah, it's a little too tight. It's a little too good, so to speak. And the service manual actually explains that after you install the new bushings, you may have to hand ream them to the exact ID needed. So I wish I had an adjustable reamer, but I don't. Turns out it's actually pretty good. I used a dead blow mallet to get the shaft all the way in, and once I got it all the way inserted, now it moves fairly freely. So I don't think I'm going to need to ream that bushing after all. And the side-to-side play is negligible, to say the least, compared to how sloppy it was before. And that's important because that's going to affect how well the forces are transmitted through the teeth to the gears and each other, as opposed to putting unusual torques on parts that shouldn't have to be stressed that much, or I should say overstressing parts. Well, I probably should have done this before I pushed the bushing in, but I want to wash this housing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these 4 bolts, which is going to remove this bottom plate, and that way it's going to be all opened up and easier to wash. Oh, that's funny, these screws are already halfway out. I don't remember loosening those. Huh. I must have, though. Oh, anyways. And that noise in the background, if you hear it, that's got the radio news on because it's Monday, but kids have no school today. Canceled school because of the Hurricane Sandy. We lost power this morning at 6:45, but it came back on. It was just localized. It came back on about 9:30, but it's just a little bit of wind out there and some light rain. The bad stuff isn't here yet. They're saying the New York and New Jersey transit systems are down. Yeah, so we're not going to get the peak of this for another 6 to 12 hours. All right, so basically the way this works is you take those 2 bolts out, and I guess you insert shims in there to adjust the clearance between the rack that's attached to the hydraulic piston here, the hydraulic cylinder, and the gear teeth on here. So interesting. Alright, so what I was saying was the rack that goes in here that attaches and is moved by the hydraulic cylinder actually meshes with these teeth right here, and the lash between the teeth on the rack and the teeth on this is adjusted by way of shims on this assembly right here. Okay, the local garage that I bring my waste oil to, he burns it for heat in the wintertime. Was kind enough to let me use his parts washer, so I cleaned up this. I ended up getting all the nasty grease that was stuck in here out, and also I brought the I forgot what it's called, but it's basically the steering column, the shaft with the worm drive at the end of it. I think they call that a cam. That actually had a lot of grease on it. That was the grease from age, had kind of become the consistency of almost like a peanut butter colored earwax type of material. It was kind of nasty, so I cleaned all that out too. And so now what I can do is I can press in my bearing race and my new seal. Putting the new seal in, I'm just going to use this rubber mallet. Well, that was easy. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to go about pressing this welded bearing race in.